to Claire's Clues. On today's video, we'll be talking about the book Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. So in this book, there's 4 key points. So let's start discussing number 1. And number 1 being is that decisions determine your destiny, not your conditions. It is not the circumstances of which you are in right now that determines your outcome, but more or less the decisions that you are making in those circumstances. No matter how big or small, they all have an impact on the end result. So decisions are a tool that can help change and shape our entire lives. So if there's no action taken on these decisions, you'll find that you haven't truly decided yet. So we need to start making quality decisions because our lives are based upon these. So let's learn how we can do that with these 5 key elements that Tony talks about help make up a decision. So number 1 he talks about are our beliefs. Whatever our beliefs might be, these help to shape our decisions. And also, number 2 is rules. We need to have rules in place so that we can start making the right kinds of decisions. 3 is our values, so whatever your values might be. 4 is our references, wherever we pull reference from for our beliefs, values, and decisions. And 5 is our emotional states. Whatever emotional state you're in, you'll find that sometimes you'll be making emotional decisions and not logical ones. And you'll find at the end of it that the outcome more or less will be far from what it is you're actually looking for. Simply because in the moment, you acted far too quickly and didn't think logically, but instead acted upon emotion. So lesson number 2, guys, he talks about beliefs of events shape our lives, not the events themselves. So our belief on what it is that happens, and not necessarily the event of which it happens in, is what helps shape our lives. So for example, say you go to work and one of your colleagues is having a bit of an off day, you haven't really spoken to them, and you're not really sure what's going on. But that feeling, that bad vibe that you get, you'll find starts to rub off on you. And that is what will cause you to believe that you've either done something wrong or you were the cause of it, whatever it might be. But the thing is, the big picture is it might have nothing to do with you at all. But because our belief system, we believe that we've done something or that we've offended someone or something's happened that we've been involved in. But instead of actually finding out the truth, you'll start to believe yourself that you were the reason. Therefore, it'll shape your day to be a miserable day. And you either won't speak to the person or you'll find that you'll end up in conflict over something that never happened in the first place. So, like you said, beliefs of events shape our lives, not necessarily the events themselves. So our belief on that outlook is what shaped the whole thing, not necessarily the event itself. So beliefs are a feeling of certainty about something in particular. Because we believe something, and because our emotional state is so strong, you'll find that your belief will override logic. So lesson number 3, guys, he talks about create rules that make it easy to feel pleasure and difficult to feel pain. So a rule is a type of belief that has to happen in order for us to feel good. So a belief is something say for example, you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, I'm going to have a coffee because that way I'll feel awake. Oh, I'll be ready for the day, whatever it might be. You'll find that that belief of having a coffee in the morning kickstarts your day to enable you to go on for the rest of it. But not necessarily is that true. It could be a simple fact of just waking up and doing one routine after another is what gets you through the day, not necessarily your coffee. So we need to, change your rules to be happy. We need to change the rules in order to feel happiness. Because sometimes it's things like when we're getting out of bed and we realize, oh, we have work today and we don't want to go to work. And that way we start to feel miserable. But think of it like this. If you got up in the morning and thought, I go to work today and when I come home, I get to do all these other things. I have time to myself to do whatever it is I want to do. That means you can quickly get through your day and by the time it's over, you think, oh, geez, that was nothing at all. So that way we can change our rules and that way we can change our beliefs on things and we end up being a lot happier in the end. Now, lesson number 4, guys, is your values determine the quality of your decisions. Whatever value you hold dear, you'll find will determine the decisions that you make, and it'll also affect the quality of them as well. So the direction of our lives is controlled by our values. So if we have values if one of our values is that we value friends, people that are in line with our beliefs, our opinions, our thoughts, our feelings, you will value that. And therefore, people that don't line up with it, you won't be friends with them. So that's just to give you an idea. But we need to be clear about our values. We need to be very certain and sure, even if you have to write them out or whatever it might be you have to do to get it on paper or see it visibly, if that helps. Get it out there and have a look at what your values are. Because some of them you might find don't make sense. Some of them you'll find are better for you in the long run, but cripple you in the meantime. And vice versa. So write out 10 values you want and 10 values to avoid. Once you've got these written down, you'll be able to navigate through your decision making a lot easier. So what you really need to be doing is writing out 10 goals as well. Once you've written down 10 goals, you can find that you can sift through things and start making decisions and quality ones of that to help get you where you want to be. So again, just a really quick recap on all this, guys. Lesson number 1 was decisions determine your destiny, not your conditions. It's not your circumstance of which you are in right now that determines your outcome, but instead the decisions that you're making in those circumstances. So to help break this down, the things that add up and make a decision are things like beliefs, our values, our rules, references, and emotional states. So again, if we're in an emotional state, if we are sad or upset or acting a little bit irrational, although we might not like to admit it sometimes, we will find that we make irrational decisions. But if you take a minute and just take a breath, or even if you have to leave and think about it for 10 minutes, half an hour, even if you have to take the whole day, whatever it might be that you need to do, make sure that you're making logical decisions and that you aren't acting irrationally in the moment. Because this will help lead you to a quality decision. Lesson number 2, guys, is beliefs. Beliefs of events shape our lives and not necessarily the events themselves. It's not necessarily the things that go on in the big picture, but the little things that happen in between. So like I gave an example of before, it might be your colleague who's having a bad day, but that could be unrelated to anything to do with you, work, or whatever it might be. But you might take that personally. So what we need to do is step aside and understand that it's not necessarily us, but we need to look at the big picture for all of it. We need to see what's really going on. Instead of forming beliefs in the moment, we need to understand that there are bigger pictures that we need to look at. Lesson number 3, guys, is create rules that make it easy to feel pleasure and difficult to feel pain. Because once you start doing this, you'll find that you'll be happier to get out of bed in the morning and do the things that will lead you down the path of success. You'll be happier to get out of bed and do the things that you really want to do, or even the ones that you've been putting off. Because once you get them done, you'll find that life will go a lot smoother and you'll be a lot happier. You'll start feeling accomplished, you'll start feeling like you can actually do things, you'll have energy, time to yourself to actually do the things that you love, because these little things all compound. They all start to add up. Lesson number 4, guys, he talks about how our values determine the quality of our decisions. So whatever our values be, we need to understand that the direction of our lives is mostly controlled by our values. So we need to be clear about them. We need to understand what they are, and that way we can start evaluating where we're making the right and wrong decisions and if things need to be changed or tweaked. So, like I said, write out 10 values you want and 10 you want to avoid. Because once you've got things on paper, once you can tangibly see what it is that you're looking at or thinking of, you'll be able to make quality decisions. And again, write down 10 goals as well. While you're at it, those 10 goals you can sift through and you can work out what steps you're going to need to take to get there. What decisions will you need to make in your life to help you get to the end result that you're truly looking for? So all this starts to compound over time. You put all this together and you'll find that day by day, bit by bit, you'll be finding that you'll be making better decisions, quality decisions that will get us one step to where we want to be. One step closer every day is still one step closer. It's not going backwards. Well, that's all for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed it so far. We're making a lot more of these videos for this training series for you to enjoy and to help you with your personal development goals. But until next time, guys, leave a comment below on what you liked the most, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Claire's Clues. Bye!